But honestly, when I look around, I look at the statistics in our country, and Benjamin has already talked about them some. About 1 million abortions taking place every year in this country. 1 in 4 women having an abortion before the age of 45 in the United States. About 2,500 abortions being committed every single day in our country. And I recognize when I look at those statistics that truly any child who is born today is a miracle. Now, I would love to tell you I've always stood up here and defended life, but that's not true. I worked for Planned Parenthood for 8 years of my life. And many of you have seen the movie Unplanned. How many of you have seen Unplanned? Yay! So you know the story. You know my story. I was raised in a Christian home. I was raised with amazing parents. They will celebrate their 45th wedding anniversary this upcoming year. I have amazing parents. I was raised in church. I remember, I grew up knowing the Lord, loving Him, serving Him. But, we were not a family that sat around the dinner table and talked about abortion. We did not talk about the ins and outs of what it was to be, pro-life or pro-choice. It was a different time. I mean, in the 80s, I was born in 1980, and, in the 80s, nobody was standing up at a podium and shouting their abortion. Women were not walking around in T-shirts saying, "I've had an abortion." People were not proud to have killed their children. It was a very different time. The media was different. People still had a filter. Not everything that came into the head came out of the mouth, right? I think my parents just sort of was like, they were like, we've raised our child to follow the biblical pathway to marriage. And so as long as she follows that, then abortion will never be on the table. So why do we need to talk about something so unpleasant with our sweet little girl? And so we didn't talk about it. And then I went to college, and I met a woman who was with Planned Parenthood, and she started talking to me about all of the Planned Parenthood talking points that we've heard in the media, and we hear them every election cycle. And it's like healthcare doomsday when you start listening to Planned Parenthood. They start saying things like, without Planned Parenthood, low-income women have nowhere else to go for health care. Now, those of us who have been around, we know that that's not true. We know that there are only 600 Planned Parenthood facilities nationwide. We know that there are over 10,000 federally qualified health centers that provide comprehensive health care to men, women, and children. We know that 10,000 does not include rural public health centers, hospital health centers, county health departments. It also doesn't include the tens of thousands of group and private healthcare physicians that accept government subsidy programs. So we're talking about 600 Planned Parenthood facilities compared to tens of thousands, literally tens of thousands of providers that see low-income men, women, and children. Yet Planned Parenthood says they're the only place women can go.